Good evening. It's 6 o'clock. Welcome to the CMCSS board study session. I'm Millard House, of course, and we have all board members present in the Zoom with the exception of Carol Berry, and she is on audio. Mrs. Berry, can you hear us?
I can hear you well.
Excellent, excellent. With that being said, Mrs. Berry, I'll turn it over to you.
Good evening, everyone. The Clarksville-Montgomery County School Board study session is in order at this time. The Honorable Millard House presiding.
I don't know about honorable, but we're going to go ahead and preside and get started, Mrs. Berry. The first thing that we have on the agenda is our summer resources and fall preview. And I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Kimmy Sokarski, and she's going to go through the presentation that makes up all of our fall and summer resources. Dr. Sokarski?
Yes, sir. Everybody can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay. I'm way out in the country, so I'm hoping it's going to go. Is David ready with the PowerPoint?
Let's see here. We're almost there, Dr. Sokarski.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm sharing screen and we'll go ahead and get us started here. Let's see. All right. We're up. First slide.
Okay, so we are still doing some of the traditional things that we do. We've just moved those items into the virtual environment. We did a traditional high school summer school, and we went ahead and started in May, and we provided it a little early so there would be no cost to the students at all. We had approximately 500 students who were able to go through this program and meet their graduation requirements or get back on track for the fall with the cohort that they're working with. We also have scheduled the middle school jump start for in July, and we're planning to, if we can't get into the buildings, to also do that through a virtual opportunity. Next slide.
We're up.
Okay, so during the summer, we have put a lot of resources out there for families to use and students to use. So if you go to our website, right on the front, you'll see that icon that says continued learning resources, and you click on it and it takes you out to the website where we're vetting not only local resources but whatever the state's providing as well, and the families can navigate through those. Next slide.
We're up.
So as when they get to this resource link, it will be by elementary and middle and high, and the families can just click on it. It will tell them if it needs a login or not, and all of the resources are free to the families to use all summer. Next one.
Okay.
So the site also has, when you get on there, academic resources, and this is for things for the parents to use that are aligned directly to the standards that we just finished working on and what they'll be working on for the next grade level. So the families, once again, can look at those standards that they may want to review or work with their children on. Next slide.
Okay.
So there are also national resources that are available, and these are also being posted not only on local but the state page as well. So there's one that has everything that you need for like children's mental health, and it takes each of the pieces, because dealing with our new status is a little bit difficult for the children. And so all of these resources about self-care, anxiety, how to talk to your children, young youth, as compared to the lower elementaries, that kind of thing, are all available for free and access to the families.
Okay.
Next link. There's also one that I was excited about. So there's a lot of free resources being provided at this time for everybody, but the National Emergency Library is free. And so when you go in there, it is all the great books, new, the classics, etc. And they've got it divided by grade level. So you click on the grade level and you can pick out those selections that you would like to work with your child on. So you don't have to worry about getting into town to a public library, those kinds of things. They're right there available for free for checkout by families.
Next slide. We're up.
Next one. So now our work right now is we're finishing out a school year, supporting our students through the summer, trying to help them navigate staying on track, etc. And we're beginning to look at what we want to do in the fall. We're going to be following, obviously, the CDC guidelines and what the state health department makes their recommendations, all of these compared. And so right now we're looking at several options. One of them would be that traditional on-campus school. One of them could be a remote learning opportunity between a virtual or providing those resources that the parents can access from home, or a blend of both options. To help with this work and guide this work, we're going to be sending out a survey that's supposed to go out Friday to families so that they can provide their input on several pieces that would go along with each of these items. And then we'll take that feedback and continue to build on what we're working with. Next question, next slide.
Questions?
That's it. Questions? I turn it back over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And I might add that the senior leadership team, as well as our communicable disease team, is working extremely hard right now to really flush out each one of the options that the Dr. Sukarski just talked about. Each one of our senior leadership team members is working with their respective teams to ensure that we have solid options, that we are prepared, and we have a plan that we're actually in the process of developing. Very extensive work. We're also working with an advocacy organization by the name of SCORE. We've got some support from Chiefs from Change organization as well. So we're using all these resources to try to stay ahead of the curve and make certain that our options are research-based and make the most sense for our families as we get started in the fall. Thank you, Dr. Sukarski. The next item on the agenda, Madam Vice Chair, is our revised teacher calendar. And I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Sean Imperatrice at this time to discuss.
So we've adjusted this calendar if we do come back 100%. And I'll tell you what the changes were. On August 11th, that was a blue box, which was an in-service day, which was actually 179 student days, 200 teacher days. And we had sent in a waiver from the state to give us another in-service day so that we could explore more of our social emotional learning training, especially around trauma-informed classrooms. So what we've discovered as we've looked at the national best practice is that if we do come back, we want to have a bit of a soft opening. So where we traditionally have a half day on the 12th, we moved the half day from December 18th, as traditionally a half day, to November 11th, and still we'll have training on that second half of the day. And we've embedded training throughout the summer on trauma informed, so we haven't let that go. But it allows our kids to have a soft opening, allows us to check in with them, make sure they're doing okay, and actually apply that social emotional learning rather than the first half day and then hit the ground running. So we thought that soft opening would be very important. So December 18th, which is usually a half day, we moved one of our early release days there. So that will be 2 hours and 15 minutes prior to the end of the school day, depending on the level. And so we really felt like in order to take care of our students that we needed to welcome them back in to the calendar, check in on them, go over their feelings and their thoughts and some processes and protocols around medical safety, and not just hit the ground running with academics. So we felt like this allowed us to do that. So that's the basis of this change. Obviously, if we come back in a blended situation, we'll have to bring another calendar to you that represents that too. But at this time, we really felt like this was in the best interest of our students coming back that have had extended time out due to the closure of COVID-19.
Thank you, Dr. Imperatrice. Be glad to entertain any questions from board members at this time. Madam Vice Chair, the next item on the agenda is a resolution for the 2020-21 general purpose budget. This is an amendment, and I'll pass it over to Marcia Demarest to share insight and information around this amendment.
Would you like me to share that screen?
Yes, please. If you could bring that
Dr.
up.
Huff, you may have to either open the share up or send it back to me.
All right. So good evening, board, Mr. House. So we do have, while he's bringing this up, I'll just start talking about it a little bit. It's really just one item that we need to amend. Our insurance premiums, we always estimate that during the budget process. And so we have received our actual premiums. They did go through a bid this year and they came back. Our property insurance was a higher value based on an increase this year. So this amendment is really just adjusting our insurance claims to be their actual. So if you can go on down to, David, to like page, well, they don't have numbers on them. Go on down to the board 72310. So our insurance premiums are due in July. And so on one account, we have an amount that's an increase greater than 25,000, which is higher, which is over the executive limitation for Mr. House. So if you go back, David, 2 pages or 2 more pages from there. So we went ahead and adjusted all of our premiums. So if you will see there, in the Board of Education, the insurance premiums that hit that function, we actually had a little bit of a decrease of $17,240. And then if you'll go on 2 pages ahead.
Are you seeing currently special education support?
No, I've got it updated.
Okay. So they're on operation of plant, the 58,351 in that third column there, a proposed increase, and that was related to the property insurance. My computer's about to go dead. So that was primarily the reason for bringing this amendment at this time. And then the maintenance of plant, a decrease there of $5,275. Okay, and then if you'll go on down, so that's a total increase there in the expenditures of $35,836. and that will be coming out of our fund balance. We will still be above the 3% fund balance, even with that adjustment. And so, as I indicated, that's primarily because these insurance premiums will be due in July. And we did have that one function that the increase was over 25,000. So that's why we're bringing this amendment at this time. So I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Marcia. Again, any questions in reference to this amendment? Be glad to answer at this time. Madam Vice Chair, I'll pass it back over to you for item number 4, which is County Commissioner comments. County Commissioner, if you have any comments at this time, please please raise your hand. Let us know. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I was wondering if we could get an email of the first views that we had of what was available to the children while they're home, the website and everything.
Yes, ma'am. We'll send the entire board packet to you that has all of that information to it. I'll send it to the mayor and have him to send it to you guys directly. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. All right, Madam Vice Chair, no more comments from county commissioners. So the only other business that I have at this currently time is just a reminder in reference to the governor's executive orders. Those executive orders that allowed for school boards across the state of Tennessee to move forward and have virtual meetings ends on June the 30th. And wanted to really get your insight right now. It would be my recommendation, unless there's pushback on your part, which I'm absolutely willing to hear and reciprocate if needed be. I would like to see us move forward in this venue, Zoom venue, for the month of June, and then reevaluate if things are getting closer to where we need them to be. We can come back into the boardroom or the study session boardroom. Any objections to that at this particular time? Charlie, was that a thumbs up or?
I was trying to get unmuted there. This is Charlie. First question, was that Mrs. Bryant that was talking, county commissioner?
It was. Yes, sir.
And didn't hear her name. The other thing is, if we do go back to that, I would like to recommend, even if, if it's not a big deal, if we do the study sessions, move out of that small room and do that in the boardroom also, just where we can all spread out a little bit better if we're going to go that route.
I would completely agree. So my recommendation would be for us to continue with our Zoom meetings for the month of June. And if we move back to study sessions and board meetings, that we do all meetings in the large board meeting room so that we can socially distance ourselves and practice the smartest way to meet at this particular time, if that's okay with everyone. Okay. Mrs. Berry, are you still there?
Oh, I'm here.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and let you close us out.
Okay. If no other business or
And
comment,
I think we have one comment. I see something you don't see. It's a Jimmy Garland smile. That means he has a question.
Yeah, well, I don't have a question, but I do want to thank you and the staff for all of the fine work that you've been doing during this pandemic. And I appreciate the thought process that you put into making decisions that's for the betterment of our children. Everything that we do as a board or as a body has to be for the betterment of our children. And I assure you that history is going to show that what you did, and even though some of you probably it hurt. But the bottom line is you did the right thing. And so don't ever be worried about doing the right thing. But somebody is going to come back and say that we wish that we had followed the model that was set by you when you deliberated and come up with your decisions. As a board member, I'm with you 100%. And I hope that the rest of this year go as smooth as it has gone thus far. Thank you, Mr. House. And thank you, staff.
Thank you, Mr. Garland, and thank you all board members, because I know sometimes our decisions and my decisions make life difficult for you as well. So thank you all for your continued support and understanding during this time. Madam Vice Chair?
If no other business, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
You all have a great one. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Good seeing you all.